I don't know what it is, but when I sit down to write, I just draw a blank. And I think to myself, I'm not dumb. I definitely could string more than 5 sentences together. So why is it that when I try to write a blog post, nothing happens? So, what my experience has been is that usually one of two things are happening. Either there are no thoughts at all coming into my brain, or there are too many thoughts coming into my brain all at once. And if you can relate to either one of these or both, tell me in the comments down below. Now, I am not a psychologist or psychiatrist. This is not going to be a video about doing some sort of deep-setted mindset shifts on how to overcome a writer's block. It's more about a practical way in which I found for myself in order to get what I need done, which is writing blog posts. So let's address the two possible issues that I alluded to earlier. One, having no thoughts at all. Okay, so your brain is basically blank. In terms of blogging, you would have done some prior groundwork beforehand in determining the topics or set of topics that you want to write about for your blog. If you have nothing to say, you have no opinions, then you may want to go back to the drawing board if it is you cannot even have a single thought about what it is you want to write. The topic or topics that you choose to blog about on your website should either be one from your area of expertise or from your experience, which is what I do, or three, from something that you are interested in, or it could be something that you are passionate about, but some level of interest needs to be there. So that way you won't be bored by the topic that you need to write on and therefore be drawing a blank, or you won't be uninformed if it is you are not even speaking from an area of expertise or experience. And so those are probably some of the reasons that you cannot even have anything that you want to say about the topic for your blog. The next issue is possibly having too many thoughts coming in all at once. Now, this is a better problem to have, if there even is such a thing, but you definitely want to at least have something that you want to put on, well, quote unquote paper, but you must have something that you want to write about on the topic of your choice for your blog. Sometimes, like for instance, for me as an introvert, I tend to overthink and overanalyze, and my thoughts are like racing through my mind way faster than I could even write or type. And so what it is I ended up doing was finding a way to get my thoughts out faster than I could write it, but obviously slower than that I could think it, right? So for me, what I did, I started to verbalize my thoughts. So I would speak them out loud, and I kind of got this idea, funny enough, from realizing the long conversations I could have with like a close friend about the things that I'm doing and things that I want to share on my blog. But when I sit down to write it, nothing happens, nothing comes out, right? And so, drawing from that, I was like, well, if I could talk about this, if it is I could even make a whole video about this, but for some reason I can't write it, then maybe that's exactly what I should do. I should create an audio file or a video file and use that as the basis of my blog post. Just structure it. Even if I don't structure it beforehand, I could structure it after. All I need to do is get the words on that screen, because that blank cursor syndrome is like bogging me down and I just cannot start. If something is there, it's much easier to kind of edit it and format it instead of starting literally from scratch. So that is exactly what I did. I would have either used videos that I have done in the past, extracted the audio from it, or for newer types of things that I wanted to share, I would have recorded voice notes, and that audio I would take and have it transcribed. Now, this comes to the most exciting or amazing part of this video, because when I found the transcription software that I use now, I literally was blown away by how excellent the accuracy is. I would say it's about 99% accurate, especially with the speed at which I talk and my accent. Usually a lot of these type of AI software cannot recognize my voice because this is not like a heavy American accent or British accent or European accent or Australian accent. Those are like the big three areas from which these types of software may be catered to. No problems with that. And what I really love about this software also is that the free version of it has 3 hours of transcription that you can do before you'll have to pay to have more hours transcribed. So that way you could test it out and see if it's really good for you before having to pay for it. And that's exactly what I did. I transcribed like a whole bunch of like older videos that I had on this channel that I'm turning into blog posts, and I also transcribed like audio files and voice notes that I would have recorded more recently, and it was phenomenal. Did I say what this thing is? So this fabulous software is called Descript, and on the free plan there are 3 hours of transcription that you can do, and you can do a lot of other things with it, but the transcription is what I mainly use it for. But you can edit audio files, video files, and do captioning on your videos. You could do a whole bunch of cool stuff with it, but the transcription is really what I initially started using it for. And without this software, I couldn't really see any other way of overcoming this type of blank cursor syndrome, blank page syndrome, writer's block, whatever you want to call it. I didn't see any way out except through this. So if you're like me and you can talk about what it is you want to write about, I would definitely take this route and just talk it out, transcribe it, and then go from there, structure it how you want it to be, optimize for a blog post. Now, there are 2 other things that I want to address that this software actually helps to eliminate, right? So this method of creating, the first draft of your blog post actually eliminates two major problems when it comes to blogging. So we cross the hurdle of not even being able to write it in the first place, right? But now there are other things that people usually advise when it comes to blogging, right? And the first thing is writing academically, which is like a no-no, right? So blog posts aren't like argumentative essays that you would write for like exams that would be written in complete and proper English with like this type of rigid structure. It's not like that at all, because it's really for being concise, easy to understand, and easily digestible, and thereby being very helpful to the user who is coming onto your website to get an answer to a particular problem, right? So you actually don't want to write academically as you would have been taught in school, and mainly all of us have been taught like this, and I have it even worse than most people because I studied sciences at like university level. So like my propensity to like write really like highly academically is like my starting ground. Is kind of like how I just would initially try to write. And because we have been conditioned like this, there's like a disconnect between how we write and how we speak, because how we would have conversations with one another is not how we would write. And so if you're transcribing how you talk, then you would thereby eliminate this problem. The second problem that this eliminates is writing in your voice. So a lot of people would advise, you need to write in your voice, you need to write the way you speak, or you need to actually find your voice in which you would write. And they usually say this because when it comes to writing, it's actually really difficult to convey and portray your personality and your tonality. So if it is you are literally using a transcript of something you would have said, then it's already in your voice, it's already infused with your personality. Certain jargons or phrases that you would say would now be reflected in what is written. And so this actually is very helpful in eliminating those two problems when it comes to writing. And I think that this is probably the only way that I would produce blog posts, the only way that I can produce blog posts. And I am so grateful for this Descript, because it literally changed my life. Like, I don't think I'd be able to start blogging without it, and I hope that this practical solution would be your solution as well. Before you go, make sure to check out Descript. I will leave a link in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Be sure to subscribe if you want to follow my journey of building an online business. Here are some other helpful videos popping up on your screen right now.